The moment the bait disappeared beneath the surface, I knew something unbelievable had happened. The rod slammed down so hard that I nearly lost my grip. Instantly, the reel erupted into a high-pitched scream as line poured off the spool faster than I had ever seen before. Whatever was on the other end wasn't acting like a normal fish. Felt like I'd accidentally hooked a moving truck. Oh my God, this thing is huge. I tightened the drag and leaned back with all my weight, but the fish didn't care. It kept running. In just a few seconds, dozens of yards of line vanished into the deep water. The captain looked at me and started laughing. "You're in trouble now." At first, I thought he was joking. A few minutes later, I realized he wasn't. The fish continued its powerful run downstream, pulling the boat and forcing us to start the engine. We had no choice but to follow it. Every second felt like a battle between man and nature. 5 minutes passed, then 10. The fish still hadn't slowed down. Most large fish make 1 or 2 explosive runs before they begin to tire. This fish seemed different. It was as if it had unlimited energy. I slowly gained a few yards of line. Then, without warning, the fish turned and exploded away again. The reel screamed. My heart sank. Everything I had worked for in the last few minutes disappeared instantly. Are you kidding me? My arms were already beginning to burn. My hands felt raw from gripping the rod. Sweat rolled down my face even though the breeze coming off the river was cool. This was becoming serious. 15 minutes into the fight, the fish was still dominating. Every time I tried to gain control, it reminded me who was really in charge. The pressure on the rod was unbelievable. The blank was bent into a perfect arc, and every surge from the fish traveled straight through my body. My lower back started hurting, then my shoulders, then my legs. I could feel every muscle working. Over time, the captain kept adjusting the boat position while watching the fish finder. "Whatever this is, it's massive," he said. That wasn't exactly comforting. 20 minutes passed. At this point, I was no longer fishing. I was surviving. The fish kept pulling deeper and deeper. Every crank of the reel felt heavier than the last. My breathing became louder. My heartbeat echoed in my ears. I'd caught giant tuna before. I had battled powerful saltwater predators, but this fish felt completely different. Its strength wasn't explosive, it was relentless, like trying to stop a train that never slows down. 25 minutes into the fight, I was exhausted. I looked down at the water and saw nothing. No shadow, no flash, no sign of the fish, just endless deep water and a tight line disappearing into the darkness. Lo, the uncertainty made everything worse. Knew the fish was big, I just didn't know how big. Every possibility ran through my mind. Could it be a record fish? Could it be the biggest fish of my life? Or would it eventually break off and leave me wondering forever? 30 minutes passed. My hands were shaking. My back felt like it was on fire. Several times I had to stop and reposition myself, just to keep going. The fish wasn't just testing my equipment, it was testing my will. Then suddenly something changed. For the first time all fight, the fish slowed down, not much, just enough for me to notice. I began gaining line. Consistently, foot by foot, yard by yard. Hope started to return, maybe. This battle was finally turning in my favor. Then, the fish exploded again. The rod lunged forward. The drag screamed, and everything I had gained disappeared once more. Everyone on the boat burst out laughing. I wasn't laughing, I was suffering. 40 minutes into the fight, I honestly wondered how much longer I could continue. The fish was still pulling, I was still hurting, and neither of us wanted to quit. Then came the moment none of us will ever forget. A giant shadow appeared beneath the boat. Everyone froze. The water below us suddenly seemed alive. The dark shape moved slowly through the depths, and for the first time we understood what we were fighting. The fish was enormous, far bigger than any of us expected. Every time it moved its tail, powerful swirls formed on the surface. The water looked like it was boiling. Oh my God. The captain couldn't believe it, neither could I. The fish looked prehistoric, like something that had survived for decades, hidden beneath the river's surface. My exhaustion disappeared for a moment. The sight of that giant gave me a second wind. Tightened my grip and continued fighting. Now, I knew exactly what was at stake. This wasn't just another fish. This was a once-in-a-lifetime catch. The next 10 minutes felt longer than the previous. 40, the fish continued, circling beneath the boat. Every time it approached the surface, it found one last burst of strength and dove again. But little by little, it was losing power. The giant was finally getting tired, so was I. But only one of us needed to win. 55 minutes into the fight, the fish surfaced again. This time it stayed. The entire body became visible beneath the clear sunlight. Everyone started shouting. The fish was absolutely gigantic. Its body looked thicker than a tree trunk. Its tail was enormous. Every movement created waves that rocked the boat. Couldn't stop staring. Years of fishing had led to this moment. Every early morning, every failed trip, every lost fish. Everything suddenly felt worth it. The captain carefully moved into position. The fish was close enough now. One final effort, one final pull, one final chance. Then it happened. The giant surrendered. After nearly an hour of non-stop battle, the fish was finally alongside the boat. The celebration erupted. Instantly, cheers, laughter, disbelief. Nobody could stop smiling. Sat down on the deck and looked at the fish in complete amazement. My arms were numb, my back was destroyed. Entire body felt exhausted, but I didn't care, because moments like this are incredibly rare. Most anglers spend their entire lives dreaming about a fish like this. A fish that pushes you beyond your limits. A fish that forces you to dig deeper than you ever thought possible. A fish that you'll remember forever. As I looked at the giant resting beside the boat, I realized I had just experienced one of the greatest fishing moments of my life. Not because of the size, not because of the fight, but because for nearly an hour, this incredible creature showed me exactly how powerful nature can be. And somehow, against all odds, we managed to bring it to the boat. It was the hardest battle I had ever fought, the biggest freshwater fish I had ever seen, and without question, a memory that will stay with me for the rest of my life.